All right, day 3, samples and surveys. Today we're going to be talking first about samples. There's 2 different types of samples. So what a sample is, first of all, is when you have a whole population and you pick a certain group out to find data on. So that's what we call a sample. So when you talk about a sample, you have either quantitative data or qualitative data. Okay, so quantitative data has units and can be measured numerically. Okay, the way I think of this is, you see the N right there, quantitative, that means numbers. You have to have something with numbers for it to be quantitative. Qualitative describes a category. Okay, it cannot be measured numerically. All right, let's try a couple. Okay, it says, is each data set qualitative or quantitative? So you have to decide, is it about numbers or is it not? So favorite movies, is that about numbers? No, so we use qualitative. Okay, numbers of students in different schools who take Spanish. Well, this is about numbers, so we call that quantitative. Okay, and then football jersey numbers, again about numbers. So that one is also quantitative. So if it has numbers in it, it's quantitative. If it doesn't, it's qualitative. Okay, moving on to surveys. Okay, there's 3 different types of surveys, or way to ask people questions. So there's random, which is surveying people at random. Now, random means drawing numbers out of a hat, or drawing names out of a hat, or just completely 100% random. Systematic is where you select a number and then survey every, whatever your number is, person. For instance, if you pick the number 5, then every 5th person you ask the question to. That's systematic because you have a system to it. Okay, and the last one is stratified. Stratified separates a population into smaller groups with a certain characteristic. So when you're separating a group according to something, that's no longer random, and that's called stratified. Okay, for instance, when you separate a high school into 4 groups by grade level, that would be stratified. Okay, so let's try a couple of these. In each situation, decide whether the sample is a random, systematic, or strategies. Oop, that should stay not strategies, but stratified. I apologize. Okay, you survey every 10th person who enters the cafeteria. Well, every 10th person, when you pick a number and then you pick every 10th person, that is called systematic because you have a system to it. Okay, you draw student ID numbers out of a hat and survey those students. When you're drawing something out of a hat, that's completely random, so we pick the random. That's a random sample. Okay, and then the last one, you survey 2 students at random from each class. Well, here you're taking full classes and you're taking just 2 of them out of there. Okay, so that's what we call stratified. Okay, so that is surveys and samples.